Yeah. Jamming on the one. The second time around, you the only one. You the only one. You the only one. Now that I know you the one. We living in the word like I know the sun. You the only one.
You said it's mine for the taking. You blow my mind with this thing called love. You know every move I'm making. You know everything I'm thinking of. And I'm thinking of you all of the time. Oh, yeah. I can't ever get you out of my mind.
To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Like our perspective.
Well, hello and good afternoon and welcome. We're going to have a good day today. Let me tell you why. We got some pretty good news that's coming up. Some of the news that we have, you've probably already seen, but then again, this is sort of a new topic for us here on this channel with the new setup that we have. So it's ChurchyAnity news. So go figure. Let's think. What could be considered ChurchyAnity? Anything that deals with the church that is almost unbelievable. That's what ChurchyAnity news is. I want to say hello to Deb Woods. I want to say hello to Rachel Van Ziel as well as Melinda Ann. Hello to all of you. Wasn't it great on Friday when we had Melinda Ann as well as Amy Duran come on and share some great stuff with us? I enjoyed it. This coming Friday for the Praise Report Friday, we will have our brother. This is the drum roll. It's my eyeballs. Anthony Van Zant will be with us to tell us all of the good things that the Father has done for him, from where he's come from to where he is now. Sandy Aaron, it's so good to see you. And beautiful lady Sharon, how are you today? So with that said, let's just get into some of this ChurchyAnity news. I don't know whether I want to start with the bad news first or the good news first, as if there's any. But let's see, the Court of Appeals, or we could start, well, let's just go ahead and start out with a bang, shall we? Here we go. We're going to start out with a bang. Let me get this off because we don't need that. So let's just get into it. So Kenneth Copeland, ChurchyAnity News. Let's remember what the topic is. ChurchyAnity News. As you can see here, it says that Mr. Kenneth Copeland is telling his folks that he needs a private jet. Now, didn't we already deal with this whole controversy with him and the whole jet thing? Not to mention the fact this cat's a pilot, right? He is a pilot. He is. Yeah, he flew for some very controversial characters, as it were. Anyway, it goes on to say that Kenneth Copeland has suggested donations could help him avoid COVID-19 vaccine requirements put in place by the airline travel, by funding the cost of a private jet. Right. But he's a billionaire, though, right? I mean, he's pretty close to a billionaire, but let's go on. The prosperity teacher was soliciting donations during a $1 million Victory-thon fundraiser this past week. So, All right, let's go on here. It says the 84-year-old head of the Kenneth Copeland Ministries suggested vaccine mandates. The mandates were the mark of the beast. This is, quote, Kenneth Copeland says, not I. Kenneth Copeland suggested that the vaccine mandates were the mark of the beast, although he said that it was up to individuals whether they wanted to actually take the vaccine or not. He continues, the time has come for the ministries, particularly traveling ministries, to have some other method of travel other than the airlines, he claimed. He said, quote, you get into this situation. We're not going to let you fly unless you're vaccinated. Well, to me, that, he says, is the mark of the beast. So he's not saying that the actual mandates themselves, he's not saying that the vaccine itself isn't. He's saying that that saying that you gotta is the mark of the beast. Well, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, because we're going to keep going. He added, not the vaccination. I'm not taking the vaccination, but you can do what you want to do, close quote. It is reported that Kenneth Copeland owns a private airport next to his Texas estate. He once told a fellow prosperity pastor, Jesse Duplantis, that by flying private, he could avoid getting into the, quote, a tube with a bunch of demons. Duplantis also appeared during this week's fundraiser and bragged about being a multi-millionaire owning a private jet. Quote, they said, do you own a jet? Close quote. Yes, you can have it. The day after the rapture, he says, it's yours, 'cause Jesse is going to heaven, he says. So that was close quote there. He also made the astonishing claim that Jesus hadn't returned yet because people aren't giving enough money. He says, quote, I honestly believe this. The reason that Jesus hasn't come back is because people are not giving the way God told them to give, close quote. He continues, when you understand, you can speed up the time, he added. We're going to talk about this for a couple of seconds, okay? This again is our ChurchyAnity News Brunch. And I want to know what you guys think about that, because to me, My personal opinion I will hold out until I see what all of you all say. Hey, 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 Rachel. Okay, I want to see what you guys have to say. I think that it's actually. Let me be quiet. I'm gonna wait. Copeland stooge. Copeland gives me the creeps. And remember back in the day, you guys? Yes, Melinda Ann. Okay. Melinda Ann says Copeland can't afford to buy his own plane. He's got to raise money. Yeah. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Right? He needs to avoid them demons too. His words, not mine. There you go. Lifestyle coach Cher, how are you? Demons, does he mean us? I think that's what he means. I think he means anybody who's not down with him. Imagine the apostles needing to avoid them demons. God and Jesus don't need no money, okay? Okay, what a fraud, Sharon Marie says. But then this is our new piece. I want to know if you guys like this piece, because we're going to forego doing one of them. So we'll either do ChurchyAnity News Brunch every Sunday, and or depending on the response that we're getting, the Friday night praise. Now I like to do the praise reports. I think they're awesome. But I'm not sure if a lot of people are liking it. So I don't know, but I just, whatever you guys want, you let us know one way or another. Email me, put it in a message, which I hear you guys are having a hard time leaving messages, so I apologize. But yeah, what a fraud. Back to the point. What a fraud, Sharon Marie says. He's got more planes than Mr. T.S. Gold Chains. I ain't getting no. I ain't getting on no plane, fool. Close quote. That was from Robert. Hi, Lockhart family. La Reina, queen is what that means. Hello. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you guys. I just think that it's sort of criminal for somebody to feel as if they have to push this will onto the people. I think it's actually criminal. I personally feel like this is the reason why a lot of people are now turning away from the quote organized church. And doesn't it sort of show you who they really are when you start to see them in this fashion? And by they, I mean those who say that, that they are doing the Father's work. It sort of shows you who they really are. And this is my point. You're not going to see, gee whiz, you're just not going to see, good people of our Father out here cajoling people, especially in a time like this, to give them their money to get an airplane. Now, it's one thing if he were to say, hey, you know what? We're totally broke. Can you guys just maybe bring us some food? Don't even buy us. Don't even give us the money, but just give us some food, or, feed us or something. I mean, I could see that and just being transparent if you got that kind of problem. But that's not what this is. This is him telling you ought to do it, because if you don't do it, it's just like, this is the mark. This is the mark. By telling me I've got to do it, this is the mark. You know what I mean? Let's see what Robert Ingram has to say. He says, hello all to everyone in the chat. Osteen wouldn't open his church during Harvey for the people who needed shelter. No, he would not. I was checking the volume. No, he would not. He would not open it. And it was not until people began to lambaste him that he forgot that he was showing his fangs. You know what I mean? It's like then all of a sudden he found out, now we got a problem. Now we got a problem because they know who I am. They know who I am now. You see what I mean? And so therein lies the issue. Therein lies the issue. And I just think that it's just a bunch of hooey. And then for Jesse Duplantis to give his comment and make the statement that, you know what, he's rich and he you're not doing what you need to do. That's the reason why we're not going to heaven right now. That's the reason why, Yeshua is not here, as he says Jesus is not here. I just think that's a bunch of hooey. I do. I think it's a bunch of hooey. I don't like it. Oh, I don't like this either. There we go. There, that's better. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it's nice at all. I think that it's taking advantage of the people who are really desperate for truth. I think it's taking advantage of everybody, and I just don't think it's nice. And so these are the individuals that people have, even myself very long ago, as possibly many of us here in the chat have, You know, can you remember during the time where he was somebody, both of them were somebody that you could trust to go to the word, and they were actually teaching what we thought was solid. Something happened around 2011, 2012, where people began to shift. As major leaders began to pass away and go on, we began to see some of these guys that hung around who are now like in their 80s, like Copeland, they're, I don't know, something about them began to change. His look isn't even the same. You remember when we're commenting about the tube thing where he says he didn't want to get in a tube with all these individuals? Well, if you remember, there was I think an Inside Edition, correct me if I'm wrong, an Inside Edition reporter who had accosted him outside in a hangar. And she was standing there and she caught him. She asked him some questions. And do you remember, and I did the research on this, he commented on her eyes. With a very piercing look at her, he says, "Wow, you have such beautiful eyes." Then shortly after that, she had a very bad disfiguring eye infection. Do you remember that? Because I went back and I looked at the dates that he made the comment, then I looked at the dates that she went on television and they showed her eyes. The eye issue happened after he focused on how beautiful her eyes are or were. Let's think about that. Another stooge, Osteen, showing his fangs, okay? Yeah. He's trying to sell his prayer message cube. Wow. Broke away from these fools years ago. Sounds like him. Okay, like him Jones. Yes. Yeah, gotta step out my have a good one. It's okay. Okay? Yes, he does. And you remember that. Okay, so you remember that, Sharon Marie. You remember that. And you remember, if you look back at the date, go and look at the video and then look at the date that she said it and then follow up with her. Because as you follow her interviews and things of that nature, you'll see that it came up directly after that occurrence. So let's go on. Now we've got that. Let's see. He was. Yes, you said it. I didn't. Like Monograph says, you said it. I didn't say it, but you said what I was thinking. And that's exactly right. So let's go on. We're going to get another story here in our on our topic for today. Let's see what else we have up in here. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, here we go. This one is no, I don't want to. Just go to the website. Yeah, I don't want to. This right here startled me. But I wasn't surprised to the point where I just couldn't function, if that makes sense. I was not surprised to the point where I could not function. All right, I know who you meant, and I liked it the way you put it, because that really that saves us right there. Put it the way you put it originally, but I like it. This right here did not take me. It didn't shock me. It didn't make me want to just roll over and say, "Oh my goodness, what are they doing?" None of that. Okay, but it did make me pause a little bit. Because like we just said a few minutes ago about the fangs showing, yeah, it showed us a lot about these folks. But listen to what this cat says. Now, mind you, they were touting him as a pastor who was a Trump supporter. That is how they were touting him in other news. Okay, so on another news outlet, that's what they called him. So let's just get right into this. Okay, Pastor Robert Jeffress, quote, "There is no credible religious argument against the vaccines," closed quote. That's what he says. Okay. 12,000 people he leads. All right. So the Pastor Robert Jeffress, leader of the 12,000 member First Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, says there is no credible religious argument against the COVID-19 vaccines, as an increasing number of Americans seek religious exemptions to the vaccination mandates. He goes on to say, quote, "There is no credible religious argument against the vaccine," Jeffress told the Associated Press for a report last Friday. He goes on to say that, he is a prominent evangelical, I'm going to pull this up a little bigger because y'all know I can't see. Sorry about that, but transparency seems to be the best way to go these days. All right. Now, Pastor Jeffress is the leader of the 12,000 member First Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, and he says there is no credible reason for it. Jeffress, a prominent evangelical supporter of former President Donald Trump, who has been fully vaccinated since early March, said that he and his staff, quote, are neither offering nor encouraging members to seek religious exemptions from the vaccine mandates, close quote. His comments come as some churches have offered vaccine exemption letters to those who oppose the vaccine, while some religious bodies have questioned using fetal cell line to test the vaccines. Quote, Christians who are troubled, this is what Jeffries says. Jeffries says, quote, Christians who are troubled by the use of fetal cell line for the testing of the vaccines would also have to abstain from their use of Tylenol, Pepto-Bismol, ibuprofen, and other products that use the same cell line if they are sincere in their objection, close quote. This is what Jeffress argues. Infectious disease expert and practicing Catholic James Lawler explained to the Nebraska Medicine that fetal cell lines grow in a laboratory and descend from cells taken from abortions in the 1970s and the 1980s. Quote, current fetal cell lines are thousands of generations removed from the original fetal tissue. They don't contain any tissue from a fetus, close quote, Lawler said. And many employers and government agencies are mandating that employees get vaccinated. Thousands have sought religious exemptions to such mandates. Some 2,600 Los Angeles Police Department employees are citing religious objections as they try to skirt the COVID-19 vaccination mandates, according to the AP. Additionally, thousands of state workers in Washington state have reportedly done the same. Jeffress' statement to the AP echoes what he shared earlier this year in an interview with the Redeeming Bible. He says, quote, I have been praying like millions of Christians. I have been praying like millions of Christians have been praying for a cure to this pandemic, he says. As a pastor, I saw it take the lives of many of my church members. I saw heartbreaking situations where families had to say goodbye to their loved ones using FaceTime, close quote, the 65-year-old megachurch pastor said. But then he continues with this comment, quote, we saw our church not able to meet for a period of time because of this, and we were praying for an end to this pandemic, and I saw this vaccine as an answer to that prayer. And no vaccine is perfect, he says, but I believe that looking at the odds, I would be much better taking the vaccine than ignoring it, close quote. The interview with the Redeeming Bible, he argued that people who are, quote, pro-life must be consistent in that stance. He says, quote, I believe that if we are intent on protecting life inside the womb, which I am, he says, we need also to be careful to value life outside the womb and do everything we can to preserve it, he says. Quote, I think certainly the controlling passage for me in Philippians 2 is do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also look out for the interests of others. Have this attitude in yourself, which is in Christ Jesus, who gave himself, who was crucified for our sin as payment. He continues with this final quote. I think that's something that evangelical community needs to be reminded of. It's not just about me, it's about us. And if we are really Christians, we need to think about the well-being of those who come in contact with spiritually and physically as well. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? What do you say? Hey, what do you say? I'm amazed. I really don't think I can comment on this, so I will just read your comments. How about that? I'm just going to read your comments because to me that was a bit much. That was a bit much. I feel like this. You know what? No matter what you do in your life, it is your choice as to what you do. But I do believe what this last statement was said here is exactly right. Okay? Here's the deal. You have the choice to do what you want to do, right? Do whatever you want, period. But when you take the pulpit to tell somebody where you are, where there is research and where there is proof, where you tell them the opposite, I don't think that's right at all. I think you need to sort of stick to the lakes and the streams that you're used to when you get that way. So let me see here. Let's go ahead and see what some of the comments are here. Let's go back up to the top. They are leading their flock astray. Yep, he is a liar. Absolutely. Amy Duran, how are you? We so enjoyed you the other evening. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so we say, I remember he was cursing her true colors. Yes. Jim, yes. What Yah do they serve? Exactly. It ain't the Father. That's right. That's right. It is manna. There you go, Amy. Okay, they are leading their flock astray. Yep. Hello, Lockhart Perspective. Hi, you're okay. How are you? All right, let's see. Hello, I'm good. Good. Okay, the Pope says it's an act of kindness. Wow. Let's see. Come on. Hello, beautiful. That's so sweet. Hello, everybody's giving their hellos. Deb Woods is so hilarious. This is like the second comment she's made about just getting rid of it altogether. She says, burn it. Burn your TV. Okay. Hello, Amy. I love it when you guys love each other. And I'm a little distracted because I'm looking out my window. Okay. Divik is a Hebrew word which means possession of an evil spirit. Divik. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Oh, wow. You know what, Sandy? Thank you for that. You guys are all so good, but you bring different, let me come back where I can see y'all. Where am I? Right there. There. Thank you for that, because you guys all bring your different perspectives and your different findings and your different thought processes. And that was good. That was very rich. That is so true. I never thought about that. I never did. Propaganda. Yep, he is deluded, Robert. Yep. He's getting paid to say these lies. Yeah. And there's a lot of other people. There's other people who walk around and listen to your heart with a thing. You know what I mean? And I think they are too. I think there's something that we're not going to find out for a minute, but it will be coming. Remember, it will be coming, because that is what I am interceding for every single day. God is going to hold these people absolutely responsible. Satan knows and uses the word against us. It's all filth and disgusting, absolutely. But this is ChurchyAnity News, you guys. This is what's out there. Yep. Good. The Pope, also one world religion, Chrislam. Yep, absolutely. All right, so we got another story here. Let's go on ahead and let's take a look. Let's have a gander. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this is a good one. Well, I'm going to use that one for last, because I think that the last one that I'm going to do is our responsibilities. Now, this one goes along with Jeffries. All right. This goes along with Jeffries, I think, because it pretty much just follows suit with what's going on with him. And so let's just go and read this one. All right. I'm so glad you guys are here with me. This is a good Sunday. Feels really good today. How is everybody doing on their feasts? This is awesome, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, we got it all set up. Let's go. So it says, quote, this is the headlines, religious exemption requests spike as employers mandate the vaccine. The subheading says some white evangelicals, the faith group most likely to refuse to get the shot, join thousands in citing a sincerely held religious belief. Now, this story comes from the Christianity Today, and it is one of their latest editions. So it was released on September the 15th, 2021, around 1:52 p.m. it says, which would not be the 0. Wouldn't that be the 13? But anyway, I digress. All right, it says about 3,000 Los Angeles police employees are citing religious objections to try to get out of the required COVID-19 vaccination. In Washington state, hundreds of state workers are seeking similar exemptions. And in Arkansas, hospitals have been swamped with so many such requests from employees that it is apparently calling their bluff. Religious objections, once used sparingly around the country to get exempted from various required vaccines, are becoming much more widely used as a loophole against the COVID-19 shot. And it is also only likely to grow following President Joe Biden's sweeping vaccine mandates covering more than 100 million Americans, including executive branch employees and workers at the businesses with more than 100 employees on the payroll. The administration acknowledged that some small minority of Americans will use and some may seek to exploit religious exemptions, but it said that it believes even marginal improvements in the vaccination levels will save lives. It's not clear yet how many of the federal employees have requested a religious exemption, the Labor Department has said, and accommodation can be denied if it causes a burden, an undue burden. Let me explain what that is. The undue burden. I'm going to come back on this side. Okay, let me give you what that means. Here comes the HR lady. Here comes the lady. All right. So the undue burden means, for example, if a company has a certain amount of employees and they require a ramp for someone, say, example, with a wheelchair to get in and out of the company, if they do not have to build the ramp, if the building of the ramp would cause the company an undue burden, say, for example, it's a mom and pop shop, they don't have the financial ability to spend to get this ramp up there and down there, right? So if they don't have to do it, they are now exempt from the American with Disabilities Act. So they don't have to necessarily follow that. The ADA has given them and already written in that exemption. Now, here's the thing. When you look at this, let's go back over here, and I want to show you again where this says. This is sort of tricky. This is sort of tricky because it says the Labor Department has said an accommodation can be denied if it causes undue burden. Undue burden. So the undue burden would have to be on the part of the company. And the company, if the company feels as if they don't want to take part in this, all they would have to do is say, it causes me an undue burden to have this person without the or with the exemption. That's all that the company would have to say. They would have to prove how, and they would have to follow under the specific federal guideline in order to utilize that as a reason, right? So a lot of the companies are having problems having employees go to get this exemption. And according to this Christianity Today publication, some companies are saying, well, don't think so. Now, in the States, mask and vaccine requirements vary, but most offer exemptions for certain medical conditions or religious or philosophical objections. The use of such exemptions, particularly by parents on behalf of their school children, has been growing over the past decade. The allowance was enshrined in the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964, which says that employers must make a reasonable accommodation for employees to object to working requirements because of a sincerely held religious beliefs. A religious belief does not have to be recognized by an organized religion, and it can be new, unusual, or seem illogical or unreasonable to others, according to the rules laid out by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. but it can't be founded solely on political or social ideas. That puts employers in a position of determining what is a legitimate religious belief and what is a dodge. Many major religious denominations have no objection to the COVID-19 vaccines, but the rollout has prompted heated debates because of the long-time role that cell lines derived from fetal tissues have played directly or indirectly in the research and development of various vaccines and medicines. Roman Catholic leaders in the New Orleans, St. Louis, went so far to call the Johnson & Johnson COVID shot, quote, morally compromised, close quote. Johnson & Johnson has stressed that there is no fetal tissue in their vaccines, closed quote. Moreover, the Vatican Doctrine Office has said that it is morally acceptable for Catholics to receive the COVID-19 vaccines that are based on research that use cell derived from aborted fetuses. Pope Francis himself has said that it would be suicide not to get the shot. In New York, state lawmakers attempted to make the vaccine mandatory for medical workers with no religious exemptions. On Tuesday, a federal judge blocked the rule because it lacked the opt-out. So there was no opt-out for those folks, so he blocked it. An August AP NORC poll found that 58% of white evangelical Protestants and 72% of white mainline Protestant and 80% of Catholics, 73% of Americans who are religiously unaffiliated say they have been vaccinated. 70% of non-white Protestants say they have been, including 70% of black Protestants. Among white evangelical Protestants, the religious group that's least likely to have been vaccinated, 33% say they will not get the shot. Across the United States, public officials, doctors, and community leaders have been trying to help people circumvent COVID-19 mask and vaccine requirements. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, Pastor Jackson LaMayer is offering a religious exemption form on his church's website for download, along with links for suggested donations to the church. They are amazing for even adding that line, but they did it. They went there. They got shady. That was shady. The 29-year-old is also running for U.S. Senate. Anyone interested can get the form, it says. The leader has it here. He put it on his Twitter page. Quote, COVID vaccine religious form update. I'm amazed that 14,000 people who have signed up for the no vaccine mandate petition have also requested the COVID vaccine religious exemptions. He says, quote, wow. And then he puts the website there. So I think that right now the church is finding themselves in a very precarious situation, because the first thing you would want to think about is, why am I having to even deal with any of this as it relates to my church not allowing me to have one or allowing me to have one? Why is the church involved when it comes to making the decision to stand firm on the word or going the opposite direction? Right? Yeah. The word church, I think, is where we're getting the problem. I think that's where we're getting the problem. I think that the word church sort of confuses a lot of people. When you hear church, you think that, well, they should have a part to do with this. The only piece that the church should have is whatever is in the word, period. Whatever's in the word is where the church should be, on the side of the word. But as you can see, because I believe that they're taking funding and they're getting funds from everybody and their mama, you find that with them teaching all of the stuff that they're teaching, they're getting monies hand over fist. And you have people who are teaching the truth who can just barely pay their bills. But these folks go out and get loads of money by telling people what others want them to know, or even getting inside of the argument of it all. All you have to teach is the word. That's it. If you're giving the word and not getting involved in the political side of it, then I believe you're doing a service. Trust and believe what I'm saying. Because if you are funding if you are fueling people with the word, you are giving them the ability to make their own decisions for themselves according to the word. I hope you hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, the church can't have anything to do with it, but I do believe that they are totally on the side of politicizing everything. Absolutely, Melinda Ann. Absolutely. That's right. That just what she has here on the screen. Go ahead and look at that. They're on the wrong side. Altogether. They're totally on the wrong side. And that's what causes the problem. Yeah. That's what's giving us the whole entire problem, is the fact that they are choosing a side. Do you guys see what I'm saying? To have the document or not have the document. Okay, the document exists. The document exists. It goes without saying. I know the documents are there. I mean, I've dealt with this type of stuff for years in the business sector. So the document is there, right? But if you are a church, why are you even dealing with the document or not the document? All you need to teach is the word. And if you teach the word, then the people will be free with the word, not necessarily having to run around and beg Peter to pay Paul, or not to run around here and ask this person for this permission. Either way it goes, you're still getting permission from a system that you're not supposed to be a part of. Look at it like that. Either way it goes, whether you get the document or you don't get the document, you are begging a system that you are not supposed to be a part of anyway for permission to have your religious freedom. Just have that freedom, because whom the Son has set free is already free indeed. So there is no need for me to go over here and beg this one, and me to run over here and let me go beg this one, and then we go get this sign, and then we go get. No, I don't got to do all of that. I just stand. You see, here's the deal. The difference between the folks who are just standing, you see in the word, let me give this example. In the word, you'll see that there will be people that will suffer persecution for the word, right? Those are the people who did not go and ask for permission. Will you please give it to me? Will you please give it to me? Follow me, you guys. The individuals who don't got to go ask for nothing. I'm just going to stand on the word. You can come on with me if you want to. You can come on at me if you want to. Come on at me. Right? But I don't need permission from the system to do what Yah told me to do. Now are we seeing what I'm saying? You don't need permission from any entity or human to do what the Father has told you was going to happen, was going to be done, and how you are to respond in it. Stand firm on the word, not on a document that could be rescinded and nullified. Do you get me now? Not on a document that can be rescinded, that can be nullified, not on a law that can be changed, because the original, the only law that matters, cannot change. His law is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And as we go through these feast days, and as we go through the things that we're seeing here, that we're doing here on the channel, you will begin to see how much freer from being connected to this world you really are. You will find that you don't have to be connected to the world. You can be connected to the word, not connected to the world. Those words are right back together. So it sort of gets me tongue-tied. But you know what I'm saying, okay? You can see exactly how connected to this world you really are when you find yourself begging for somebody to give you the permission that of what y'all already told you to do. That's all I got to say about that. So yes, I'm glad to see this young man is running for Senate. I'm glad that he's taking a side on X, Y, or Z. That's good for him. But this is Christianity. This is not believing in the Father. This is where the delineative line and the confusion comes in. Because when you hear the term Christianity, and I'm going to say this, and I have to say it. I have to cough also. Hold on. And I'm getting better, which is a good thing. Because whatever this is that you get when you're hanging around somebody who's wearing a helmet, it gets you really, really, really out there. Yeah, they had on a helmet and I was by them. And because they had the helmet on, it got me like this, and I've been like this for weeks, but I'm getting better. Thank goodness for Ronnie Mann's wife and who else? Oh yes, Roy Potter. Yep, a lot of people helped me, so this is good. So anyway, had to cough there, but here's the deal. So right now, as we practice the feast days and as we go through them, we begin to truly understand the word, where the Father tells us to come out of the world, to come out of Babylon. And that means you release everything from Babylon. Now, some pieces may take you a little longer. Why? Because we've been here for so long, in this current situation. But the fact is, stop putting yourself on their eye gauge, on their range, by going to them, asking them, can I please serve Yah? Did the 3 Hebrew boys ask for permission? No, they didn't. They just did it. Did Daniel ask for permission? No. All he said is, hey, look here, I'm not eating that. You can bring me that, but I'm not eating that. Am I making it plain? Is everybody hearing what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we don't live here. We do. But when you stand on faith, faith means stepping outside of what their norm would be. Faith means stepping outside of the opportunities that they've given you. That's what faith is. Faith says, nope, it's okay. Keep it all. I'm going to stand over here on this side and watch him. Because see, if you put your faith in that document, then what did he have to do with the document? Now, some would argue, well, he allowed the document to be there. No, that's been there since 64. And just like they put it in there in 64, they can take it away. Huh? They can take it away. But what he does for you, no man can move it. No man can change it. No man can take it away. No man can tug at it, disassemble it, break it down. Can't no man do that? No, because what he gives, he gives. What is for you that he gives you, he gives you. So we have faith and we believe that he is, and according to the word, he is a rewarder of them that faithfully pursue him and believe in him. If we believe that, then we have to believe that these times he will bring us through. Not every single body is going to come out smelling like a rose. Please believe that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Because some of us ain't. Some of us might. Some of us may not. But the one thing I will tell you is that his word is true and that his promises are yes and amen. The things that he has for you are yes and amen. So it's been great talking to you guys for this last hour almost here. We're right about an hour. We're at 47 minutes. So it's been great talking to you guys. I'm so happy that you were able to spend the ChurchyAnity brunch hour with me. That's a good thing. I want you guys to tell me if you like this segment, if you like our Friday segment, whether people know it or not. We do have a Praise Report Friday segment. And on that segment, people come onto the show and they tell us some good stuff that's going on in their lives. And it's great. Or tell me if you like the ChurchyAnity news. Because we're not doing news anymore on this channel, it does make it sort of difficult for you guys to get the news directly from this channel like we used to. But what I thought about was, hey, why not take the news that has the affiliation of where we were to now? Because Christianity itself is not us. That is not us. We are not Christian. Not when you can see. And I know a lot of people are going to I know a lot of people are going to hang up on this, and that's okay. But I'm going to tell you the truth because I'm responsible to do that. If you can find Christianity closely tied to anything that was attached to Rome, then why are you associating yourself with it? Huh? Why? That's the problem. That's the problem. So you guys think on that. I will see you guys tomorrow. You see that we have our shows already posted for tomorrow. And we also have a guest that's coming up on Nancy Morgan Hart's channel. And we'll place that there. So you guys just make sure that you tune in and check and see exactly what's going on, okay, with us here on the Lockhart Perspective. So remember what we always say on this channel, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of one another. Until then, you be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.